Hello and good evening, where it is 23:30 right now, which is quite late. I may not be doing this every single night, but I'm going to try to see how high I can get on the leaderboard with the understanding that this is more attempting to write readable code than it is trying to write sloppy code and get first on the leaderboard. I'd rather have a slightly more educational stream. So, we are waiting for the puzzle to load in. This is a set of daily puzzles released every day at midnight Eastern Time, and they are released one per day through the 25th. And the interesting twist about Advent of Code compared to other coding competitions is that, number one, there is a competitive element, but it's not like hyper competitive. And then secondly, that every puzzle has two parts, and you're required to modify your solution to the first part in order to solve the second part. So it really rewards having code that is really well structured so you can refactor it easily, because if you don't, then you're not going to actually succeed at doing the second part. So I have completed the past 3 years 100%. Some of them took longer than others, but I did eventually get every single puzzle of the 25 main puzzles with parts A and B for 3 consecutive years. And I aim to do that this year as well. But again, going to see how well I can do in the leaderboard with the understanding that, shit happens. I definitely am on an airplane for 2 days of the competition for the puzzle release time. So that's definitely not happening. And because I'm losing those 2 critical days of top leader score, there's no way I can make the global leaderboard. I'm not even going to try. So that's what's going on, is we're waiting for the first puzzle to unlock. And in the meanwhile, I'm going to go ahead and get some boilerplate written, assuming I'm going to need feature flags, I'm going to need text parsing, and I'm going to need some other fairly basic stuff. So let's just spit out what I did on the first day of 2017 to give us an idea of what we might need. So yeah, first of all, let's make their inputs. Oh. And let's also, I happen to use Nano. So that means that I use an editor that not many people use. It's simplistic, and I've stuck with it for 15 years, and you're not changing what editor I use. The reason I used it was VI was too hard, because VI didn't have help, and when I first started learning Linux 15 years ago, I needed help, so therefore I found these to be hugely useful. So, same deal as usual. We're going to want some things like parsing, and yeah, we'll use flags to deal with that. I'm just going to cut and paste that right over. Great. I wouldn't really say I do cool stuff, but I do at least some interesting stuff. Okay, this has screwed me up multiple times in the competition before. Always, always, always run flag.parse at the top of your main function, or else you are going to be very sorry, because you're going to be wondering, why did I change my input and nothing happened? Or why did I change it to part B and why is it not working? It turns out that if you don't parse your flags, they take on the default value by default, which is not very useful. Let's see, so we're probably going to want to do something. And then we're going to want to return it. So that's what we roughly expect to have happen. Let me just make sure I have a working Go toolchain, because if I don't have a working Go toolchain, I'm going to be very sorry. That's not good. Oh. 1 second. Let me fix that off screen. I think I know what's wrong. I think I have some environment variables that weren't set up. But that would require showing you my bash profile, which may contain some secrets, so... Yeah, I know. Don't keep secrets in files. Low-grade secrets, not high-grade secrets. Oh. Which version is my Go? That's why. Anyone see the problem with this? That is my problem. So let's fix that, and then let's reload my shells. Or I'm just going to re-export for now, but when I load the next shell, I'll fix it. Okay, this is why we start streaming before the puzzle goes live, because otherwise we'd be working these issues out on the fly, and that would be a lot less fun. Okay, do that, do that. Does that make us happier? Yeah, that makes us a lot happier. Great. We're probably also... Knowing me, we're probably going to have to parse the... It's probably going to be something involving numbers, so we're going to have to parse, and that's fine. So let's just put this in for now and call it a day. Okay. Cool. Excellent. That should work. Really? Oh. Ignore errors. Everything will be fine. Perfect. Okay. My environment works. I am going to consider that pretty good for now. And now we wait for everything to load, which will be in 22 minutes. So in the meanwhile, I guess I'm going to casually answer questions. Oh, let's see. I wonder who else is posting on Twitter about Advent of Code. Nope, no one else. Just me. Okay. The other interesting thing to look at, by the way, is to look at last year's stats while we're kind of doing overview chit-chat, which is last year's stats are that about 50,000 people started and about 5,000 people finished. 2016 is about 20,000 people started, about 2,000 people finished. And 2015 had a very large year, about 45,000 people started and about 32,000 finished. So, you know, that's the state of the running, is somewhere between 30 and 50,000 people will participate this year, if last year is any indication. So the other fun thing is discovering who is on the leaderboard, which you will discover who else is doing stuff on the first day. Yeah, I am not going to aim to get this done in 1 minute. Day 14, 2017. Let me remember what that one was. Oh. Yeah, I remember trying to help you with that and debugging whether your not function was correct. Yeah, that one was an interesting one. What did I even do there? Oh, yeah. Yeah, that one was essentially essentially trying to grow the size of a contiguous region. It's actually quite similar to... It's quite similar to a Google interview question, which is why I happen to have an easy time with it, because I've seen people ask it a bunch of times, but for other folks, it can be a little more challenging. Yeah, I should probably go look at your code at some point if you're interested in me looking at that. Yeah, I definitely know folks who got stuck on 1 or 2 puzzles and just gave up on the whole thing. That is the danger of trying to 100% it. Okay, we are apparently doing live code review, if you don't mind me doing that. You know, I know some people are touchy about that. How did you get the GitHub username Lisa? That's amazing. Day 14. The other thing about Advent of Code that I think is really cool is, in general, this past year had an exception in that you had to solve, I think, day 10 or day 7 to get to the rest of the puzzles, but in general, most of these are low dependency, so you can skip a day's puzzle and move on to the next day's puzzle. The only thing you can't do is finish day 25's second half if you don't have the requisite 50 stars. Okay, so what did you do?
Are you streaming?
Yeah, I'm streaming. Whoa, it's a cameo.
Nobody knows who I am. Don't tell them.
It's a deer. A deer wandered into the frame. Okay, let's see. So if your part A solution worked, my suspicion as to what's broken is your wraparound. Let's see if there's the wraparound somewhere. Because that was the catch with that one, was that... Yeah, that's right. Number of regions, figure used. Okay. So what did you do? Assuming that's correct, let's look at your part B logic. I'm loving that. That's hilarious. This is probably a crime somewhere. Everything is a crime somewhere, to be fair, but... String to characters. I'm trusting that's correct. You have a not library. Okay. Right. Okay. That's fine. Okay, that was fine. We tested that. Oh. That would certainly explain... You got stuck on part A or part B? You got stuck on part B. Okay. Well, I can't fix code that I can't see, so we'll go review that later, but not today. Okay. 16 minutes. Getting close. Also, I wanted to show off my t-shirt, because I think this is an especially cool t-shirt. This is my t-shirt. People who know me well will be suitably amused. Turns out that we have a fair number of furries living in this house. Who knew? Much to my surprise. Okay. Let me think about what other things we need to do before we, before I go live. we have a working environment. We have logged into Advent of Code, so we'll be able to get a puzzle input. Let me just make sure that my Git environment is reasonable. I mean, before the puzzles go live, not before I go online. Okay, that's fine. Okay, that's fine. Yep, that's what I was looking for. Please go easy on me. I am a little bit less good with Git than I am with other things, mainly because my day job does not require me to use Git, and instead I use Perforce, or Google's successor to Perforce called Piper, which is monorepo and is very much different from Git, I will say. Okay. And now we wait. Please don't be shy about questioning. I really, okay, I will be slightly innuendo-ish and say I don't bite unless there's consent. So I'm not going to bite your head off. Excellent. Well, basically, the place where I may need to ask for help is, oh my god, I messed everything up. How do I check out a backed up version? But that probably won't happen for day one. I'm anticipating solving it in one commit, but I might have jinxed it. Depends on whether the founder of Advent of Code, Eric, has decided to throw in, hey, let's make the first problem mega hard, which he could, but I don't think he will. He usually has the first problem be fairly straightforward. Amusingly enough, my spouse decided that she was going to warm up by solving Advent of Code 2017 day 1 in 4th, I think. And it took her, I think, like 4 or 5 hours to do. So there are ways to make it harder on yourself, but I'm not going to do that. Hi, Eric! Oh my god, you're actually watching this. That's amazing. Kind of really curious how many other people are streaming this. I saw, I think, on Twitch, one other person was streaming. Also, I'm going to point out, for folks, I think there is reddit/r/advent of code. That is also a handy resource that I'm going to pitch and say, hey, you should go visit that if you have any questions, because the community can totally help you. And indeed, there's someone wondering, what is the story going to be this year? Well, I'm curious too. I guess we're going to find out. If I search for Advent of Code, what do I get? I get myself, I get one other person who is testing their broadcast. Spoilers on that thread. Actually, I'm not going to spoil myself, even if that's a joke. It's probably a joke. Yeah. Yeah, I had to go and close every Slack that I'm in. I had to close Discord. I had to close like a bunch of stuff because I do not want random notifications popping up or whatnot. It is inconsiderate to other people's privacy to disclose notifications that they've sent you. I hope you have load tested your servers, Eric. If there's a ping, unless it is literally caps tackled or we're under eviction, I'm just going to keep on coding. Like, the alliance has gotten big enough. They can live without me for a couple of nights. It'll be fine. If there is a ping that is caps tackled or we're being evicted, I expect you will tell me. Oh god, flops. I miss that so much. but we don't get nullsec connections often enough. Wait, about that? Do I need to open Slack? You're scaring me, mate. Oh, yeah, that's probably not a good idea to look at me solving it before. Honestly, day one's probably not going to be something you couldn't do yourself, but yeah, I understand the desire to not spoil yourself, but good luck. Also, I'm kind of amused that Twitch added the tag for 100%, because I am going for 100%. But also, I am glad that no one on the stream, at least right now, has identified themselves as a reporter, because there's also some random news stuff going on around me if you look at my Twitter feed. But for this stream, I am focusing on my coding. Oh my god, Amicus! Yes! Yay! Okay, I should throw more money at you via PayPal. I will do that. Wait, you don't know... Okay. Hi! Wormhole or BTW? Eight minutes. Seriously, so excited. This is one of my favorite parts of the year. My partners are trolling me, saying that they know that I'm streaming and might send me embarrassing pings, which is their choice, right? I've warned them. It's fair game. Any other questions in the remaining 7 minutes before I am going heads down on coding? Although I'll narrate as I go along, because one of the fun and interesting things about my current job as a developer advocate is I spend a lot of time producing instructional videos and talks and otherwise trying to narrate what's interesting and difficult about a particular thing. So this actually turns out to be fairly close to what my day job is. But I like it enough that I will do it for fun as well. Also, I happen to, for outside political reasons, be looking for a new job. So if you are hiring, please do let me know, because I am a developer advocate looking for a job. And this is my attempt to force myself to write a little bit more code so that I can pass my interviews. It'll be fine. Curious what's going on in this other person's stream where they are testing. I might tab over there and see what's going on in their stream. They appear to be writing in an IDE. Cool. That is this person. So feel free to look up them as well. Twitch/SleepyNate. And they also have a GitHub, which is also Sleepy Nate. Cool. So we'll both be streaming, it looks like, and it'll be fun because having more colleagues who are streaming is awesome. Well, Lisa, you know where to find me, so feel free to ask around in your company, and I would be delighted to be your colleague. Though one of the challenging things about your employer is, like many companies, they may have problematic contracts that I might disagree with, but we'll find out. That's part of the discovery process. Being deliberately vague and circumspect about who your employer is. All right, 6 minutes to go. I'm probably going to go into the advent of code tags and encourage my friends to do it. Oh my god, speaking of which, my friend Bentley. It's okay to skip problems. It is okay to not finish them on the day they release. There. I have now encouraged my friend. Cool. Well, 5 minutes to go. By the way, if folks cannot read the text on my terminals or in my browser, please do let me know, because I can increase it. I'm a fan of accessibility, so if there is an accessibility problem, I do want to fix it. OMG! Yay! Wait. Oh god. My clock skewed. Thank you for letting me know about that, Lisa. Holy crap. This was showing 4 minutes, and I refreshed and the page went to 2 minutes. Well, I'd better get that JavaScript clock checked. I really should get that JavaScript clock checked, because otherwise other JavaScript things will be not very happy if they have very inaccurate time. All right, thanks for stopping by, Lisa. Good luck. I know you have to tune out now, because I'm about to start. So, hey, Ariel. I never thought I would find myself saving these words, but thank you for subscribing, Ariel. So weird and surreal. I have never thought about myself as a professional streamer, and yet apparently people are willing to pay me money. Okay, my friends are willing to pay me money, but thank you for your subscription, Lisa. That's amazing. I'm blushing. I am not going to contribute to the massive DDoS that will happen when this hits 0 seconds. I suspect it has been wired correctly to automatically show the link to the URL, but I know that my clock is a little screwy, so I'll probably refresh once at 10 seconds and then let it do its thing, because plus or minus 5 seconds, I don't really care. I'm here to provide a good stream, not to solve this as quickly as possible. All right, here we go. Oh no, temporal anomalies. Someone's been changing Santa's history 500 years in the past. Okay, we can fix it. 50 anomalies, we need all 50 stars. Great. Okay. Ah, great. Okay. This is essentially sum all of the current numbers. That's fair enough. So let's just get to work there. So that is definitely going to be a string. Let me just double check what my input looks like. Ah, yep, it is definitely a... In fact, that is not going to be a... We're going to have to use some of our logic to read files, because I want to save that to a file. Because I am doing this correctly. Okay, how did I do it last year? Okay, just start that into this file. That looks good. Okay. Reasonable enough. Oops. This is almost like talking and typing at the same time is is almost like chewing bubblegum and walking. It's a little bit of an art to get right. So what was my input handling like? I have to remind myself how a lot of these things work. I/O. Okay. Well, let us get I/O / IO util, and then by the way, if you see me duplicating characters, that's because my keyboard sucks. I'm going to fix it. Relative file path. It's probably something to use as input. Okay. Great. So now we can read the file. So the other mistake I tend to make often that I encourage people to call me on is, oh, I know how you solved it. You plugged it into Python, didn't it, Ariel? That's, that's a little bit cheating, but that's fine. Well, yes, of course you did. Okay. So we're just adding all the things together. For each line in the file, basically repeating last year's solution verbatim until here. We want to stop when we get to the end. We want to take increase by 2i. Oh, whoops. That won't quite work. Let's ignore the errors. Yes, but I wouldn't have a pure Golang repository, and that would be awful. I'm not allowed to do that. That's cheating. You're totally entitled to that. That's fine. Let's see. Okay. And then we will put in offset. strings. Wait. Oh, strings. Okay. And where's my offset? Oh. Wait, what? Huh? Oh. What? How did I get that wrong? I know I messed up something. A to I. That's strange. Why does that not work? Line 30. Undefined offset. Huh? Oh my god, Excel. That's amazing. Yeah, that would not surprise me. What did I do wrong here? This is definitely... Oh. Oh! Now I feel like an idiot. Okay. Great. Cool. Continue to part 2. We need to find the first frequency it reaches twice. Okay. That's easy enough. Part B. So we need to maintain a running sum. Let's see. So actually, we're going to use a map for this. So we're going to map into bool, and then we don't even need part B logic. I guess I'll just keep it in there. Okay, and then missing result, then, and part B with a star, so I don't mess it up. Okay, that should do it. That can't be right. Do wrong. Make map int bool. Scene result. Yeah. This is a Rockhat keyboard, but I think it's garbage because it keeps on repeating my characters, which really sucks. So I am going to RMA it, and if that does not fix it, I'm going to trash it. Okay. So result is 0. First wish is 0 twice. Why is that not working? Part B is true. Huh. What did I mess up here? Okay. Simplest debugging technique. Just do that. Okay, no, so it's not that logic. Of course it's not that logic. That wouldn't even make sense. I'm probably not overflowing int. Oh. Wait. How did that even work? Oh, that's why. Yay, harmless typos. Yeah, I have no idea how that even worked. I am struggling with a really stupid thing, which is entirely my fault, I am positive. So result plus equals offset. First frequency reaches twice. Oh, it repeats the thing over and over. That's the problem. Okay. Fair enough. That's easy enough. How does this work? I think something like that. Repeat forever. Okay. This is almost as much of an issue as reading comprehension as it is actually solving the trouble. So that can't be right. I don't believe that. Oh wait, no, that's correct. It's different than the first one. Done. Okay, cool. I will stay on the stream for 5 minutes to answer questions, and then after that, I'll head off. Let's go ahead and just go format it and then check it in. Okay. Get wizards. How do I diff against? How do I see my currently? How do I see my currently staged changes? There's some magic to this, I know. Curious what the leaderboard looks like. Per day. When was it finished? Yeah, of course it was finished 5 minutes ago. Don't care. That's fine. It's all but the long haul anyway. Thank you. Keyboard. Okay, that looks fine. That looks fine. Let me make sure this still is the correct thing when I run it with part b equals false. Oh, whoops. Bug. Let's go clean that up. Let's see. How do I do this? Okay. Not the prettiest way to do it, but it'll work. Okay, that works. That works. Okay. But then I should not print out that. Okay. Seems reasonable. Yep, looks good. Yeah, I think this is a fairly reasonable one-screen setup, and then I have my social media and reading the chat on my right screen. Let's check this again to make sure I didn't miss anything else obvious. Okay, that seems fine. You are a moderator since I turned on public streaming and turned off the must be subscribed for it or must follow the channel for at least 10 minutes option. Okay, let's answer Eric and then the badness. How are things? Things are hectic. I may be in the middle of organizing a strike of Google workers, which is exciting. So you can go follow me on Twitter, because that gives me a chance to actually compose my thoughts rather than blurting them out, because it turns out that it's not a good idea to randomly blurt out things that may have legal implications. But yeah, stuff's okay. Looking at new job, looking at kind of seeing what's next, which is potentially going to be fun. I'll be fine. Turns out that money solves a lot of problems, and my spouse is still going to work at Google, so it'll still be fine. I'll be happy, the dogs will be happy, everyone in the family will be happy. How do I prep? I think that solving past years of AOC helps. For instance, Binary Vixen is in the process of solving, I think, 2017. So that's definitely one way of working on it. Another thing to do to prep is you can do other coding stuff like Project Euler. I think the challenging thing, which I'm sure that Eric is going to laugh at when I point this out, is Eric particularly seems to like things that are not just strictly numerical or kind of number theory related. And in particular, he really likes doing solving of game trees. And if that is not a skill that you have ever learned in school, I highly recommend studying it. I'd be remiss to not mention my favorite MIT professor's book, which is what is it? Yeah. This is known by the letters of the authors. CLRS is definitely a classic. Or CRLS is definitely a classic. So that's helpful. Other stuff that I've found to be helpful is just looking at like a chess search engine or any other kind of search engine. You know what, I'll show y'all some of how I solved a previous year's thing, because I think it's particularly emblematic of the kind of code you wind up having to write in the course of solving this. Let's see, where is it in this repo? If I search for score, yeah, okay. So here is the prototypical example of this, I'll say. This was day 13 of 2016. Day 13 of 2016 was, hey, you're supposed to try to figure out what's the shortest route to get somewhere, right? You can do an A-star search, or you can do other kinds of searches, but eventually you potentially wind up having situations where moving by one space doesn't necessarily change the score by more than one, or it doesn't necessarily change the score by one. So you have to kind of think about what's the best possible move you could make and trying to have heuristics for figuring out, is this a good board state or not, before you actually move forward, because otherwise you're not going to be able to look at all of the possible expansions, right? So it's stuff like that that really requires you to think about, okay, right, I'm not going to instantiate a new copy of the board. I'm just going to mutate some of the bits, right? I'm going to potentially have to parallelize. I'm potentially going to have to say, is this better than the current state that I've seen, than the best state? If so, record it, right? If I've gotten to a winning state, then I'm done, right? Like, stuff like that is useful stuff to study, because I know Eric loves doing that to people. Yeah, I don't know. Other than that, it's useful to think about, know your data structures, not necessarily how they're implemented in the language that you're using. A lot of people use AOC to learn a new language. But, know what a hash map is, know when to use it, know when to use a tree, know when to use an array, and so forth. Ha, you're playing it close to the chest. Okay, I am probably going to wrap up in the next 2 minutes as I need to go to bed. But I will ask whether there are any other questions that people have. Yeah, no problem. So, same bat time, same bat channel. See folks tomorrow in about 23 and a half hours. Have a good night, everyone.